You have to have a password in order to get in, which means you got to go online. People aren't going to go. They've got the stupid disc in their hand. They paid for it. Why should they have to go online to get a password to open up what they already have? So that basically was a non-go. Was it BD Live or something?
Yeah, BD Live.
BD Live basically is a no-go because people, people that watch movies are not social media types.
You know what? That's the point on it.
And the same people that play video games are not movie watchers.
Well, here they're talking about interactive game consoles like they're able to connect to the internet and offer free voice. Chat between users have emerged as a more popular choice for chatting with friends on the phone.
And we'll paraphrase that. These are gamers.
Yep.
They're talking to other gamers. They're not social media like Facebook, like MySpace. These are gamers talking to other gamers and often playing against other gamers.
They're playing while they're chatting. The other part is if you interact like that, your mom doesn't know that you used the telephone line.
That's right.
Or the other part is if you're talking on your cell phone and your parent pays for the bill, they don't see that big block of time.
But the trick is the media moguls knowing this is done. I know Netgear is getting ready to basically developing a device that parents can monitor how much bandwidth that their children are using a month, that's separate from what they're getting from the, can tell you where you're going, how much you're using. So they're basically, the game consoles are going to be on the out too. When that's hooked up to the kids with the internet system, that's going to stop that from happening.
Okay, so the point is the kids are migrating to areas where their parents are not monitoring them.
That's right.
So when the monitoring systems come into play, the kids will change their habits.
That's right. TV, a lot of TV changed when they put the parental locks on the system. It changed the landscape because, I actually can remember, movies that weren't censored on local TV. And that's why the parents basically have the parental locks on. So when they did that, they moved to cable where it was uncensored. And then the parents put the locks on the cable boxes. So they moved away to the DVDs. Then they put the things on the DVDs to make it harder for the kids to get hold of. So basically, as you put more restrictions on things, you drive people away.
Well, part of this is, on here, it says that they thought it was one of the clearest and most thought-provoking insights they've ever seen, so they published it. Well, I can understand publishing it and the inquiries that it's getting, but this is from the executive director of Morgan Stanley's European media team. But here's my question is where those people are so far removed that they thought this was earth-shattering. That's
it. We haven't been to one of these conferences in a while because
they were saying the same thing every single time.
They were saying the same thing because Web 1.0, Web 2.0, Web 3.0, Web 2.5.0. You hear the same thing being said over and over and over again. So we don't go to them anymore because of that. But they will not listen to anybody that has something. If you tell them how they can make money and it's not going to cost them anything, I'll say, okay, we were talking, 50 years ago. Talking to the president of Bank of America, had a motion picture loan division. I told him, explained to him how we could do what they were doing on the network for like 90% less. And he said, well, I have a brilliant idea. And he said, I've ran the figures. It's absolutely 100% right. We can't make a loan for that small.
See?
Can't make a loan for that small amount of money. So they wouldn't do it. I went to the, once to the head of, the guy that founded the ABC Television Network, and we had a long conversation while we were eating lunch, and he said, I absolutely like what you're doing. The problem is you have to understand, they don't listen to anybody our age. All they listen to is people that are turning out movies and things for MTV, which doesn't do music videos anymore because that generation passed on. But he said, they're hiring, he said, my company is full of nothing but, 19, 20-year-old college dropouts. That was running his network. Yeah, and the network basically changed directions and they changed directions, and the network totally went down the drain. It's just, they don't listen to people that are just trying to work. I mean, we can tell you that anybody, Notaspringchick is reaching that age that very shortly they're not going to listen to anything she has to say either.
I mean, I'm happy that this caught their attention. I don't think it's earth-shattering because we already know it, but apparently to these other people it is. But I'm glad that you got somebody's ear.
Oh no, but we have went to things and we have said, okay, we'll talk about we were on the guest list of one big movie and big entertainer conglomerate for years. We went to the president's dinner. I mean, this was such a prestigious thing. We got like we each have one of only 40 bags turned out like that in the entire world. And he, the gentleman, the president of the company, asked me a simple question. He said, "You're news people. You talk to the people down the line. I don't." He said, "Why is it we aren't selling?" And the device that and he said, "Well, because people don't have the TV sets available to put it on yet. And why would they want to buy something that they can't use?" And then he sort of went unhappy.
Because for it to work, not only did you have to buy the unit, you still had to buy new TVs.
Yeah.
And then you should buy new sound systems, and by the time you go through and buy all the other stuff, it starts getting expensive.
Well, but the TVs were ungodly expensive to start with. Also, people weren't moving into them. His company put the cart before the horse, and basically they haven't recovered from it.
They haven't recovered since.
And he did go semi-ballistic, and all of the people that we knew in the company were gone, all of them.
Well, that's just
because I remember him saying, "Why did I have to learn this from news people? That's what I hire you people to do." And you get all over this little room where we were having dinner. All of a sudden, his Asian voice left, and a very deep, demanding, English-sounding voice, came out, and he went ballistic in front of, which Asians never do in front of people. They don't do that. They're very refined, and
sometimes you don't ask the questions because you don't want to hear the answers.
Well, they didn't want to tell him the reason why. Instead we sat there and told the reason why. We never went back to the president's dinner. We never went back. Well, because we did the unspeakable. We told them the truth. But they don't want to hear the truth. Businesses don't want to hear why they're not selling.
But part of it is businesses don't want to hear it. The government doesn't want to hear it. The president doesn't want to hear it.
Yeah,
it's not just business. Not businesses.
Because we can leave it, this is not groundbreaking. This is just the truth, and we can tell you. Mark Twain said the truth is the last thing that anybody wants to hear, and when they do hear it, it's earth-shattering, which is what that is. So until next time, this is Oldecam.
And this is Notaspringchick, and we're here yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
And for more information, go to www.montybubbles.net on the net.
And you can, of course, follow us on Twitter.
Or we're on your cell phone on MIPIN.
Oh yeah, we're all over the place. Go search for us.
And you can YouTube us on your cell phone also.
YouTube, VO, MSN. We're all over the place.
Okay.
But and that's one of the reasons we have over 20 million links on the internet.
Because we're there we're there if you bother to look. We're just under a lot of different names right now. We'll try to explain things. Right now we're changing servers, so we're trying to get websites, all linked to where they're supposed to be at the moment. And you never want to go through the hassle of changing servers like we're doing. It's driving people nuts. So it works because it just. And we tell people.